it's me with another video. Okay, so tonight's subject, I think I've gone over it before in a previous video, but that's okay. I think it's okay to always go back and repeat something that is important, and needs to be discussed. So my topic for discussion tonight is Zersetzung, how it coincides with gangstalking and MKUltra and all these things. So first I will give you a definition. Like I said, I've gone over this before, but anyways, this is straight from Wikipedia. Zersetzung is German for decomposition. It's a psychological warfare technique used by the Ministry for State Security, the Stasi, to repress political opponents in East Germany during the 1970s and 1980s. Zersetzung served to combat alleged and actual dissidents through covert means, using secret methods of abusive control and psychological manipulation to prevent anti-government activities. And then I went on to find the definition of covert, which is secrecy. It says secrecy is the practice of hiding information from certain individuals or groups who do not have the need to know, perhaps while sharing it with other individuals. That which is kept hidden is known as a secret. Okay, and what a dissident is, because some people don't know what a dissident is. A dissident is a person who actively challenges an established political or religious system, doctrine, belief, policy, or institution. In a religious context, the word has been used since the 18th century and in the political sense since the 1920s, coinciding with the rise of totalitarian governments in countries such as Fascist Italy, Nazi Germany, the Soviet Union, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. In the Western world, there are historical examples of people who have been considered and have considered themselves dissidents, such as Dutch philosopher Baruch Spinoza. In totalitarian countries, dissidents are often incarcerated without explicit political accusations or due to infringements of the very same laws they are opposing, or because they support civil liberties such as freedom of speech. Okay, which is the First Amendment. So, Zersetzung is now known as organized gangstalking. That's my opinion. I believe that it's been modernized, and instead of calling it Zersetzung, which is the German word, it's now organized gangstalking. Anyways, what is organized gangstalking? Research demonstrates that it is always illegal activity of current and former police, intelligence agencies, NGOs, and military mobs. Okay, I got this from another website. Gangstalking is always the result of military, police, and state surveillance, often hidden behind NGOs, which are non-governmental organizations, and community policing, waged by both right and left-wing elements of democratic societies who target citizens with highly personalized vendettas informed by big tech and social media. Okay. Let's see. Community policing. Community-oriented policing seeks to address the causes of crime and to reduce fear of social disorder through problem-solving strategies and police-community partnerships. Typically, it involves greater use of foot and bicycle patrols and frequent meetings with community groups. And I've heard that they have these groups meetings at like the different buildings, like government, not government buildings, but like, anyways. NGOs are a subgroup of organizations founded by citizens, which include clubs and associations that provide services to their members and others. NGOs are usually non-profit organizations, and many of them are active in humanitarianism or the social sciences. Task-oriented and driven and driven by people with a common interest. NGOs perform a variety of service and humanitarian functions, bring citizen concerns to governments, advocate and monitor policies, and encourage political participation through provision of information. Okay, so that's a little bit about that. Now I'll go into MKUltra. Okay, Project MKUltra, or MKUltra. Project MKUltra is the code name given to a program of experiments on human subjects that were designed and undertaken by the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, some of which were illegal. Experiments on humans were intended to develop procedures and identify drugs such as LSD to be used in interrogations in order to weaken the individual and force confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. The project was organized through the Office of Scientific Intelligence of the CIA and coordinated with the United States Army Biological Warfare Laboratories. Other code names for drug-related experiments were Project Bluebird and Project Artichoke. The operation was sanctioned in 1953, reduced in scope in 1964, and further curtailed in 1967. And it was officially halted in 1973, which is a lie because it continues to this day. The program also engaged in illegal activities, including the use of U.S. and Canadian citizens as its unwitting test subjects, which led to controversy regarding its legitimacy. MKUltra used numerous methods to manipulate its subjects' mental state and brain functions. Let's see. Techniques included covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, especially LSD, and other chemicals, electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, and verbal and sexual abuse, in addition to other forms of torture. Now, I've said this before in a previous video. All those things that I just said are things that they do in gangstalking. The sensory deprivation, isolation, isolating you from family and friends, and all these kinds of things, verbal and sexual abuse, and so on and so forth. The scope of Project MKUltra was broad, with activities carried out under the guise of research at more than 80 institutions, including colleges and universities, hospitals, prisons, and pharmaceutical companies, which means that I'm guessing that means they used these places to carry out, and people who work at these places to carry out these experiments. Let's see. The CIA operated using front organizations, although sometimes top officials at these institutions were aware of the CIA's involvement. So, like I said before in previous videos, I called the places fronts. So, and it just said using front number. Okay. Okay. Project MKUltra was first brought to public attention in 1975 by the Church Committee of the United States Congress and Gerald Ford's United States President's Commission on CIA activities within the United States, also known as the Rockefeller Commission. Okay, investigative efforts were hampered by CIA Director Richard Helms' order that all MKUltra, I think that should be files, be destroyed in 1973. The Church Committee and Rockefeller Commission investigations relied on sworn testimony of direct participants and on the relatively small number of documents that survived Helms's destruction order. Okay, so he was trying to, hide or cover up what he was doing or what was being done. Which is what they do a lot. So, anyways, in 1977, a Freedom of Information Act request uncovered a cache of 20,000 documents relating to Project MKUltra, which led to Senate hearings later that year. So they, uncovered the missing documents, apparently, some of them at least. Some surviving information regarding MKUltra was declassified in July 2001. In December 2018, declassified documents included a letter to an unidentified doctor discussing work on 6 dogs made to run, turn, and stop via remote control and brain implants. Okay. So that's basically mind control experiment on animals. I think, in my opinion, I think they use the experiments on animals first. Like there was one, I can't remember exactly who, but I do remember learning in school about the experiment that they did with dogs where they rang a bell and the bell was supposed to make the dog salivate, you know, for hunger or whatever. I remember that. Anyways. Okay, so experiments of Americans. CIA documents suggest that they investigated chemical, biological, and radiological methods of mind control as part of MKUltra. And I've said that before as well. Chemical warfare, biological warfare, radiological, which is radiation, I'm guessing. They spent an estimated $10 million or more, roughly $8.75 million, or $87.5 million, I think, adjusted for inflation. Okay, some of the drugs that I found that they used or experimented with were LSD, LSD-25, mostly, heroin, I don't know if I'm saying this right, psilocybin, I don't know, mescaline, cocaine, AMT, I don't know what that is, DMT, I don't know what that is, barbiturates, amphetamines, morphine, temazepam, wait, did I say that right? Scopolamine, I don't know if I said that right, alcohol, and sodium pentothal. Okay, now I'm going to read a section or two about hypnosis that they use. And then there's something about they had secret detention camps. Okay, it says, declassified MKUltra documents indicate they studied hypnosis in the early 1950s. Experimental goals included the creation of hypnotically induced anxieties, hypnotically increasing ability to learn and recall complex written matter, and studying hypnosis and polygraph examinations, hypnotically increasing ability to observe and recall complex arrangements of physical objects, and studying a relationship of personality to susceptibility to hypnosis. They conducted experiments with drug-induced hypnosis and with anterograde and retrograde amnesia while under the influence of such drugs. Okay. In the secret detention camps. In areas under American control in the early 1950s in Europe and East Asia, mostly Japan, Germany, and the Philippines, the CIA created secret detention centers so that the U.S. could avoid criminal prosecution. The CIA captured people suspected of being enemy agents and other people it deemed expendable to undertake various types of torture and human experimentation on them. The prisoners were interrogated while being administered psychoactive drugs, electroshocked, and subjected to extremes of temperature, sensory isolation, and the like to develop a better understanding of how to destroy and control human minds. Okay, so basically it's like they locked these people away, you know, pumped them full of drugs and, you know, things to make them go crazy and all these kinds of things, you know, to study or, you know, control them and all these kinds of things. So it's exactly what they did. Anyways, it says mention symbols and code words. Yes, they do use symbols and code words when it comes to MKUltra. to control how a person reacts and to control, how a person behaves. They use different code words and things. I've read that before and I've seen it. It doesn't work on everyone. Like, once you know what they do or how they operate, excuse me. Once you know how they operate, it's more difficult for them to control you. So try as they may, because they continue to try. I know they tried on me a lot, but it doesn't really have much of an effect. As far as, let me get an example. So I've said it before in a video, they like to use the leopard print or the animal print or whatever, and it's supposed to be something sexual. It's supposed to induce or entice the primitive or the primal, whatever. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't. And MKUltra goes in, it coincides with monarch programming. If you don't know anything about that, look it up. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. There are plenty of videos, or not videos, but articles that you can look up. MKUltra was a big thing, and it still is, like I said. Said it before, from the day we're born, MKUltra is put on us. So, from what you wear to what you eat to how you, you're supposed to act like this, you're supposed to do this and this and this, It's all about mind control. It's all about controlling people, controlling the masses, keeping them in the matrix. Some call it the beast system or whatever. So yeah, it's all about control. They want to control you, and if they can't control you, you're seen as a threat, and they want to eliminate or exterminate you. And I know this for a fact because I get followed by extermination trucks all the time. So, anyways, I just want to come to say that I'm gonna do some more videos. I may do another short one here after this one, and post it or whatever. But anyways, I just want people to be aware. I'm gonna try to put the links from the sites that I got the information from in the description box and things of this nature. But I just want people to be aware. I know some people are aware and don't say anything, and then some people don't know because they're so far gone in being brainwashed and mind controlled that they just don't care to hear the truth. So anyways, but I do believe that I think more people are becoming aware, hopefully. But yeah. So that's my video. As I always say, be bold, be brave, be fabulous to you, and above all, always be true to you. Smooches.